Hi, and welcome to The Curling Show, the podcast that brings you interviews with the sport's top athletes and the people who shape the game. Brought to you by Fit to Curl, a sport-specific guide to training for the world's greatest game, by 2010 Olympic gold medalist, 2011 GP Car and Home Players Champion, and Team Martin third John Morris, with some help from me, Dean Gemmell. You can take it from me, a guy who knows just what a difference they can make. Following the programs in Fit to Curl will help you stay healthier and more active, and then pay off when you're on the curling ice. Get your copy of this best-selling book at fittocurl.com or at your favorite pro shop or curling equipment supplier. The lead on the newest incarnation of Team Ferbey, Brendan Melnyk. Welcome to the Curling Show.
Thanks, Dean. Appreciate the invite.
Well, I say the newest incarnation, but this week, of course, there's news that Randy Ferbey is entertaining an offer from the Russian Curling Federation to be a coach. A bit surprising. Did that catch you off guard?
No, not really. I think that situation was maybe blown a bit out of proportion, maybe a bit exaggerated by some reporters. I don't think the deal was ever as close as some would make it seem.
Right.
So, and you know, I think Randy was pretty forward with us. I mean, nothing was secret or anything, so no, it didn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, I think if anything, Randy was using it as a negotiating ploy. It sounded like to me.
It could have been, and why not? Why wouldn't you, right?
Yeah, I don't think he's going to rush in to coach the Russians. What would you think of the Ferbs as a coach? I'm not sure about Randy's, and he even said that in an interview with Al Cameron, that he's not sure if he can handle sitting behind the glass for 10 hours or sitting in an arena for 10 hours, not playing. I think it'd be strange for Randy to be coaching.
Yeah, no, I think so too. I think at least from where I'm standing, I think Randy should keep playing. I think he's got more to offer on the ice than off the ice. Yeah,
you know, unless they're throwing a pile of Russian rubles at him, but we know how that worked out for Jason Gunlickson and crew, so you never know with the Russians.
Hey, that's very true, yeah.
Yeah, it's tough to negotiate with those guys. Hey, you know, you guys are this new rink, though, if Randy turns down the Russians, which I imagine he's going to, or the Russians turn him down, however it works. But it's Randy skipping, throwing third, Dave Nedowin back to the old role, throwing last, and Ted Appleman at second, and you at lead. When did this team come about?
It's kind of put this thing, I guess, together shortly after provincials. The guys were in provincials there. I was down in High River as a spectator. I didn't go to play. I didn't play in playdowns. I was busy with work here, so I didn't do that. But I was down there, and things weren't clicking for the guys out there, and it just kind of seemed that things maybe we needed to shake up there a little bit. So I guess just after Provs, we just started talking, me and Randy, and I guess one thing led to another. I said, you know, I think if you could get Nedowin out of semi-retirement, and I could, you know, if Ted would be interested in playing, I think we'd have a pretty solid team. And I guess the future hopefully is bright for us. We'll see.
Talk to me about your former team. You just, you know, with the Appleman brothers and Brandon Klassen. I mean, you guys a couple of years ago were pegged by a lot of people as one of these new young teams that was going to start winning some big events or had chances in big events. You did win. You won that opening spiel in Edmonton one year. I had Ted on after that. You beat Kevin Cooey twice in that. Of course, that's a first spiel of the year thing. But you guys were in the mix all the time. You were at the pre-trials in Prince George in 2009. A lot of people, I think maybe even myself, picked you to come out of that, and you didn't. And then it just seemed like the team never quite took off after that. You switched Ted and Tom up. What happened? What went wrong?
Well, I'll tell you what. Like year one, we came out of the gate so hot. We won. I think it was 3 out of our first four events, and ended up qualifying for the Players Championship. And like you said, we with the Players, actually we qualified at the Players, and that got us a berth into the pre-trials, which you mentioned. And so yeah, coming off year one, I mean, expectations really high, and I mean things were, great. And I guess year two came along, and we were expecting more of the same, and we played okay and had some decent results year two. We ended up winning one spiel, the spiel in Kamloops, and it was a good year, but it's not what we'd hoped for after such a great first year together. The third year, just trying to think here. Everything was the same, like attitude-wise and expectation-wise. But the difference into year 3 was Ted and his wife Pam were expecting a baby in September. Well, no big deal, but I think it kind of it was a little bit overwhelming for Ted at that point. I don't think he really realized how much of a commitment it was. And at that point, we played the first spiel without Ted at the Saville there, and went down to Calgary. And that's in that Calgary event. That's when we decided to make the switch with Tom moving up to skip and Ted down to third. And just didn't have a great result there, and just kind of switched things up after that or during that. And I guess we also brought in Adam Enright because we knew Ted wouldn't be around for all the spiels. But we brought in Enright to play with us, and of course Adam's a great guy. I know you've had him on, and he's one of the more popular guys on tour. So
right, and a great player.
Absolutely, yeah. So it was a good fit that way. But you know what? It's just one of those things where I don't think anything ran stale. I just think I don't know. I think it's just time for a change. I mean, we get along so well, the four of us, so even the five of us now, and I mean we're the best of friends off the ice, but on the ice just something was a little bit off, and I think it was just time to make a change.
Well, it's interesting, because a lot of people talk about the fact that they think teams need, and Dave Nedowin has talked about that actually, that teams need to stick it out a little more and play together a little longer, but it seems to me there's also a window of opportunity for a team, and you guys sort of had it, and then you came through it, and then, like you said, you weren't getting the results you needed. Do you think there is sort of a window of opportunity for every team, and if you don't succeed in that window when things are sort of going right, that you're in trouble after that?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. Everybody's in different places, or different places in our lives, and with different expectations and different timelines. As far as how much time you can actually put in before you start seeing some results. And I think with our team, Tom and Brandon are younger than Ted and myself. Me and Ted both have young families, and I think we just felt that the time was now to really kind of make a stamp or make some noise and see what we could really do. And I'm not taking anything away from Tom and Brandon because they're both great players and they're going to be great players for a long time. But we just needed something immediate. Call it a shake-up or an infusion of excitement or energy or whatever it might be. We just thought that this was the time to make the change.
Ted and Tom, though, why not Ted and Tom together instead of? How did you get in there?
How did I get in on?
How did you get in? Two brothers. How did you end up in there? Breaking up two brothers.
Well, me and Ted we've been friends for a long, long time. Ted was a groomsman in my wedding a number of years back, and played together a lot and a lot of mutual respect. And I mean, looking at the team, the makeup of the team, what it's going to be. Obviously, you need a guy in there that's going to go in, know his role, and play lead, right? I mean, that's kind of my gig, and I think I can fill that role just as well as anybody else can. I'm not sure Tom could play lead, nor would he probably want to. But how did I get in there? I don't know. I think maybe I just fit that role a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, it is a different role playing lead, and a guy who's been skipping or playing third. It's a tough thing to wrap your head around at times. That's for sure. Do you know what are those guys doing? What's Tom Appleman doing next year? Do you know? Yeah,
Tom and Brandon are sticking together, and Adam's going to play with them as well. Adam Enright, and they added another local guy from Edmonton, Nathan Connolly. I don't know Nathan personally very well. I know of him, but never met him, and he'll fit in just fine. He's a younger guy. They'll get along well. They'll have some good success, no doubt.
Now, you mentioned that you and Ted are guys with young families. Dave Nedowin's a guy who actually stepped away from the game because his family life and business life was busy there for a while. Randy, of course, will curl every weekend, I think, if he can. But what kind of schedule are you guys looking at?
We're probably looking to play, somewhere in that 6 to 7 Bonspiel schedule before Christmas, depending on schedules. And I know the three of us are actually pretty open as far like Ted, Randy, and myself. But Dave does have some limitations on how much he wants to play this year, and that's fine. Everybody knew that going in, so I think you could probably expect us to play that six before Christmas.
Have you ever played with Randy or Dave in any event?
With them, never.
Never.
Against them, way too often.
Right.
Yeah, way too often.
Talk about playing them way too often. The challenge of Alberta for a young team. I've always thought it's good and bad. Good, you get to, you're battling the likes of Kevin Martin and Kevin Cooey and Randy Ferbey and, oh gosh, Don Walchuk, anybody else out there. But the bad is it's tough, isn't it? It can be daunting at times.
Yeah, no, for sure it can. Does it make you better? Well, I mean, maybe. I mean, you get comfortable playing against the tough teams, I guess. But, it is real frustrating. Excuse me, just looking across the country and looking at teams that are, they're on TV and, in their provincial finals and making the Brier, and you look at it and you're like, oh man, we're not really that close to that point yet, and we felt that we were, at one point probably, not inside the top 10, but right around that number, that 10 to 15 range in the.
Yeah, I think at one time you guys were.
Sniff,
I think
right?
you could consider yourselves in the top 10 at one point. I don't know what the actual ranking said, but I think that's fair.
Yeah, and I just it was to a point where we just either you go and you're a a semi-professional or whatever curler, or you just do what you do, and it takes a lot to take that next step, and we couldn't do it with the team we were on, but we'll see what happens in the future.
Talk about guys in Alberta. How about Jeff Walker going out to play with Brad Gushu? You'll get to a few Briers.
Maybe. You never know. I know Mark Nichols might have something to say about that.
That's true. Mark will probably be back. I'm sure he is, actually.
I'm sure he'll play in playdowns, yeah. But, I mean, Jeff's a great guy, and he's a great player. He had a great run in the Alberta Probs here, and, he'll be great with Brad. I think they'll complement each other very well.
Hey, Brendan, as you might know, I worked with a curler who's pretty decent, John Morris, on a book called Fit to Curl. Big believer in fitness myself. I think you're a bit of a fitness nut, aren't you?
A little bit, yeah. I take care of myself. At least try to a little bit.
Yeah, I read on your Twitter feed you ranked Renegade Rows, I think, right, as the all-time best sweeping exercise for sweeping.
Oh, without a doubt, Dean. Without a doubt.
I'll tell you what, I tried them after that. I think they might be in edition 2. I think I might have to give you a tip on that. But
there you go.
Second edition of the book might include those.
Right on.
So there you go. I think looking forward. You think Dave and Randy still have the fire in the belly? You think you guys or do you think you guys, a couple younger guys, can give them that spark?
Well, I certainly hope so. I mean, I think me and Ted have a lot to offer them in terms of, like you said, maybe energy or a spark, and I think we could definitely bring out the best in them. I know Dave's excited and Randy's excited, so I think we're set. Hopefully, we can put together some good results here early in the season, and maybe get into a slam along the way, because we're not quite in there yet with our points, but hopefully we're in there by the end of the year.
Can Ted bust it with the brush?
Oh man, Teddy's crazy with the broom. I'll tell you what, he's put on 10 pounds of pure rip in the off season already.
Come on, he's like wiry guy, isn't he? No,
well, you know what? He's wiry, but man, he's ready. He's ready to take that step, I tell you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's a monster. He was $155. He's up to $165 now, and he's a machine.
Nice. There you go. He's packed on 10 pounds of lean muscle, has he?
Absolutely lean. Yeah.
All right, Brendan, we finished. You know what? The good thing about you guys, this new team, is having Brendan and Brandon at front end. Real pain in the neck for media guys. Really, I'm glad that's over. You guys shouldn't play together anymore at front end. So. Hey,
I'll never rule it out. I got a lot of respect for him. I think heads down power. Me and BK can sweep with the best of them.
Yeah, there you go. Paul Webster gave you guys props once on his blog for your setup over the brush. If somebody wants to read Paul Webster's blog at curling.ca, I think you guys are mentioning there, right?
Well, yeah, I remember that, and actually it was just Brandon that was mentioned, but my picture, I was standing next to Brandon, which was, that was enough for me.
Like I said, Brendan, it's all a blur there, my friend, yeah. So that's why it's a good thing you're not together anymore. But he did talk about the hips, the legs outside the hip line, things like that. So anyways, interesting take on sweeping technique for people who want to check that out, Paul's blog. All right, Brendan, we finish with the run back. I'll give you a topic, and you give me your thoughts in 1 to 3 words.
Sure, I'll try to keep it there.
Yeah, nobody does.
Okay.
Nobody does, and then I get distracted, and the whole thing goes to hell in the handbasket. But we'll give it a shot here. Yeah. Pat Simmons on Team Cooey.
Great player, great team. They'll have a lot of success. Hopefully he doesn't enter playdowns in Alberta.
brutally way longer than 3 words, but nonetheless.
I'm trying, man.
Do you think that have you heard what their plans are? I mean, Pat's got a chiropractic practice. I mean, I don't,
Yeah, no, I haven't talked to any of those guys since the news came out. That would be a pretty big move, I would think, for Pat to come over, and I'm like I said, I'm hoping not. But I mean, even if he doesn't, I'm sure they can convince Blake to play playdowns, and obviously that team's no bargain to play against either. So.
Right. How about Wayne Middaugh and Team Howard?
I love Wayne. He gave me my first lap dance at a Grand Slam event, and it was fully clothed, of course, but I'll never forget it. Just a rookie going into the Grand Slam event. I was playing with Wally, with Don Walchuk, and kind of sitting in there amongst the legends of the game, whatever, and Wayne comes over and sits on my lap and kind of. I'm not even sure if Wayne would remember, but I definitely.
I don't know if he'd want to.
He might not. You're right. But on that team, obviously great fit. Wayne's a versatile player. He can do it all.
Yeah, I mean, Richard Hart's a tough guy to replace, but on that team and the way he knows Glenn, it's certainly about as good as it gets for those guys. And they might even be a little more fired up. But I doubt it, actually. I think Rich or Wayne, it's kind of a toss-up, but I don't think those guys could ask for a better player to slot in, and especially since he played with them a bit last year too.
I think a little bit of when you make a change, I mean, there's always a little extra energy.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think anything new is fresher and better, right? Sometimes not better, but it's certainly fresh for a bit. Yeah. Which move is more positive of those two? Which one do you think is a better net move?
Well, I mean, you're splitting hairs. I mean, what?
Exactly.
You're looking at moving. You're looking at the number. arguably the 1A or 1B team picking up a great player, and you're looking at a team that just came off a world championship here season before last, picking up another great player. I mean, more positive.
So you would have nailed it if you just stopped at splitting hairs.
Yes.
We'll do that.
Okay. Well, I'll say more positive. I'll say Glenn and Wayne.
Charlie Thomas.
Oh, enigma. He's in and out. He's what to say?
What's up with that guy? Like, where is he?
Well, I know last I talked to him, and I do message him every once in a while just to check up on him, see what's going on. He was trying to get into med school here, I think maybe a few months ago or 6 months ago, or no, he was in Africa. I'm pretty sure it was Africa for a while, doing some volunteer work at a hospital. I'm pretty sure. Maybe don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what he's trying to do. Charlie
Thomas, volunteering at a hospital in Africa. You heard it here.
Right on.
I think he's off the grid then. I don't. He's gonna disappear like Mert Thompson or somebody, I guess. But we'll see.
Well, you know what? I think if someone's willing to, I don't know if take a chance, but if someone's willing to try and play with Charlie for a year, which maybe has been a little bit difficult for some over the past in the past few years, I think it'd be worth the gamble. Charlie's a hell of a player.
How about Donald Trump eating a slice of pizza in New York with a fork?
Classy. It was even a plastic fork, I think, right?
Yeah, that was great. Funny,
nice.
Stewart's rant was brilliant as a guy who lives just outside New York. How about the passing of Jack Kevorkian today?
I read that on Twitter. Whatever. Rest in peace.
The NHL's return to Winnipeg?
Long overdue. The fans there deserve NHL hockey again. It'll be real exciting for them.
They certainly do. The Randy Ferbey, Ryan Fry dust up.
I think if both of them had it to do over, I think they probably would.
That's a good way. That wasn't 1 to 3 words, but it's about the best somebody said on that. And that's the last I'm going to bring that up in the run back. By the way, if Randy or Ryan are listening, I think I've milked that for all it's worth. How about Chara in front of the net on the Bruins power play?
Come on, guys! Like, when you're playing 3D men on a power play, come on! Like, I'm not a Vancouver fan. I'm pulling for the Bruins, but I mean, come on! I can coach better than that. No, you gotta put some offense up there. Move Chara back to the point. He's got the shot. They're sorely lacking it. But yeah, they blew it in that first game. They're not going to get a better performance or better chance than Tim Thomas gave them in Game 1. Uphill battle from here. Game 2 is a must.
All right. That was 1 to 40 words.
Oh, at least.
How about Twitter guy, Braden Muscowie. He's on Twitter a lot.
Muscowie is a beauty. Haven't had a chance to hang out with him much on tour. I think moving forward we'll probably maybe spend some time in the bar together. But yeah, he seems like a good kid and obviously a hell of a player too.
What do you know what his plans are?
Yeah, he's got a new team going forward next year. Let's see. Excuse me. He's got Dustin Kidby and DJ Kidby.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because Deej is moving back to Regina, I think,
right,
from Red Deer, and they picked up Deuce, and they're going to play. I'm not sure which. You have to forgive me. Which of the players on his team is I guess graduating with him to into men's play. I know there's two that are they're still in juniors, so
right.
I'm not sure which one. I didn't follow them enough to know which. No offense, boys. I know there's Flash and Myers and whatever. I'm moving
Flash
on quickly. Quickly, I'm digging a hole, buddy.
You are the unfortunate name, Flash, for a curler, but yeah, he's got the worst name in curling. But it's I got to say that the kid, I've never met him, Muscowie, but I enjoy his tweets. So there you go.
Yeah.
Sure. And finally, growing healthy spruce and pine seedlings.
Growing healthy spruce and pine seedlings.
That's what you're doing right now, aren't you?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
What's the name of your family's farm or greenhouse operation?
Tremel Greenhouses, Tremel Greenhouses.
Right.
Yeah, and the secret to growing them, love and attention. Don't water them too much, abuse them a bit, and just give them the right amount of nutrients, man. Come on, it's plain as clear as mud.
There you go. I as I noted before we started here, I planted trees as a university student in Canada one summer. I don't think I had your seedlings because mine were crap. They were crap. They were dead before I got them in the ground.
Yeah, no, you would have got some junk from probably PRT. Not that I'm biased, but our group's trees are much better than PRT has ever produced, and I know in BC that's probably whose trees you're planting.
Well, I'm reluctant to reveal my age, but this would have been summer of '88, so gosh knows what we're dealing with then, But
well, we weren't even in existence yet. We were 91 as our first year. But.
Yeah, well, I hope you've improved those seedlings because mine were. Well, the ones I did manage to get in the ground. Brutal job, that tree planting. Brutal. Just brutal.
Yep, so, I agree completely.
Like I said, I did it one summer. I didn't go back. And I don't think I was. I think I was pretty much in the lower tier of tree planters. But,
well, I'm not. I haven't been out there watching much of that stuff. But I don't know how their tiering system would go, Dean. But I'm sure you did just fine. I
wasn't top 10. That's for sure. I was low down on the CTRS list. But nonetheless,
maybe you were playing on an event that didn't have an inflated multiplier.
Yeah, well, there you go. You guys are going to start bashing Ontario events out there in Alberta.
No, that's not at all what I was getting at.
Oh, you weren't? Okay. I'm just sensitive because I play in some of those.
Right on.
Anyways, Brendan, thanks for your time. I give everybody a chance to name their sponsors at the end of the show. Who are you guys backed by this year?
Yeah, we have Asham Curling Supplies on board, HDF Insurance out of Edmonton, and of course World Financial Group.
Back with the fur ball.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, hey, Brandon, thanks for your time. I appreciate it. Look forward to seeing this new lineup on the ice next year. Always like to see new teams. It makes it fresh and exciting for fans. And good luck with those seedlings the rest of the summer.
Thanks, Dean. Thanks so much for having me.
That's Brendan Melnyk on The Curling Show. Maybe you're just thinking about summer barbecues right now, but don't forget that the start of curling season is closer than you think. Start training now, and you might not start the season as fit as Brendan Melnyk, but you will be better off than you were last year. You can buy Fit to Curl at fittocurl.com and at Better Curling Pro Shops. Thanks for listening. Here's some summer pudding. Feel the power.